Well, how about that? I'm alive. Live, live, live. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. It's Saturday, huh? Oh, well, I don't do the things I used to do on Friday nights, or Saturday mornings for that matter. Okay, let's start out with the news and then we'll get on to whatever bullshit comes along through my distorted brain. That you should, that if you guys are listening to me now, we're going to wait a few minutes to wait for 11 o'clock to come around. And I'm dying in here because I use linseed oil on my carvings and it just wants to make me die, you know? Really. Get rid of the rags when after I use them. Anyhow, what time is it now? Oh, we got a few minutes left. We're just going to hang out, people, and talk some hi, how are you? In case you're interested, my uploaded videos are now available again. I put one out this morning and it worked. Don't check. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to work every day because nobody could tell me what the problem was. According to them, there never was a problem. But Facebook does have a lot of problems. So either I've been hacked or whatever. But see, I don't get upset about that because there's no personal data that I haven't given you on any of my websites or there's no banking information available on my computer. So good luck with that one, folks. I don't do banking there. You can get my account number, but that's not going to do you any good. Can you hack that my bank website? I doubt it. But well, I'm not going to worry about it. There's not enough money for you to expend the energy. You know, what are you going to steal? A couple $100? If you're lucky. But in the meantime, everybody, let's just hang out and say hello to everybody. Now it's coming up to 11 o'clock, so now I'm getting ready to do the video part because I like to make sure my folks have a chance to get here, before I start. Although I haven't seen too many at the start anymore. Jim was here for a day, and that was it. He went on vacation again. I wish I could do that. I wish I could just, make money and not have to worry about it anymore. But I am going to have to start worrying about making some money somehow or another because Social Security is going to disappear, and my bank account has been drained a little bit lately with my wife being sick and everything. So I have to try and figure out a way to make some money. My artwork will help me if I can find a way to sell it without having to pay for delivery. Because you selling I sell stuff that would be like $5, maybe the most $10 right now, and I'm not paying. The delivery charge is $12 sometimes, so I'm not going to do it. So you have to just wait and see what happens. In the meantime, folks, let's get started, shall we? They say a deal is close, but Iran says not this weekend. I don't think they want to let him celebrate his birthday with the deal. I think that's part of the whole thing. If there is a deal out there, they're not going to let him get his birthday present, till after his birthday. So that makes sense to me because nobody likes the scumbag. You know, his wife doesn't like him. Anybody hated him. His mother hated him. His sister hated him. His niece hates him. And you got, I don't know, he's got some relative standing in the background. Now, his daughter kind of likes him, I guess. I don't know how much respect she actually has for him, other than the fact that he's her father and he controls the money. So, I don't know. Everybody's waiting for him to die, and then they're going to fight over the inheritance. And I'm not sure there's going to be a lot there. Because he's pretty much a scumbag, so that'll be in court for. I'll be dead before they settle that thing out, probably. Shame. I just like to see his family get fucked, but that's besides the point. This is probably since it's noon already in the United States. This may be irrelevant, but the judge gave an extension to JFK Center for Performing Arts to get Trump's name off of it by today, by noon today. It says it's noon right now in the United States. I'm assuming it's done. All right, I don't want to disappear and try that. Now, everybody's sitting around talking about the Jewish. They're really not talking about the Jewish people. The Jewish people are committing genocide in Gaza, and they say no, and but they're doing the same things to them that were done to them in World War II. And I just think, how in the world can you go do that to somebody else after it was done to you? You know what it does to people. You have a history with that. Yet you've got their leaders are just not making any sense at all. They believe they're protecting themselves by destroying Arabs. The Arabs didn't put them in concentration camps. They're friends with the Germans who did. The Germans killed what, 2 million of them, 20 million of them. I forget. It begins with a 2, but anyhow, they killed all these Jewish people, and they're not going around, let's say, walking into Berlin and saying, let's kill all the Jews, let's kill all the what, neo-Nazis that are still left. No, they don't. They want to kill the Arabs, and the reason they want to kill the Arabs is because they're occupying land that they believe they should get, and the Palestinians believe that they should get. So you got a conflict of interest there about who gets what, and that's what most wars are about. Somebody wants something the other person has, and you go around and you do that. But that's kind of not really the smart way of doing business. It's just what happens in the world, So I don't understand all that. There's a big stake about the 7th month, and while they were doing this, this is the Israeli army now. They opened up on a opened fire on a car and killed a 7-month-old baby, and this was done in Gaza. And as far as I know, this was deliberate and whatnot. The Jews don't deny it. Israel doesn't deny it. Israel isn't saying it's a mistake. This is part of their genocide. A 7-month-old baby killed in a car in Gaza, and nobody's really upset about that. I don't understand American people. I don't understand American youth, because American youth has got a lot of reasons to be upset right now. And they're going to wait until Trump has to do the draft, and once Trump does the draft, that's when they'll start to rebel. But people are being very smart right now, because if you do anything violent right now, Trump's going to declare martial law. Something violent, you have to be ready to fight. I mean, not just get your head beat on. You have to be willing to die, because that's what's going to happen. Because there's going to be a civil war, because Trump's going to declare martial law. And I got to tell you, I know friends of mine that are not going to put up with that. They're either going to, they might just end up leaving the country. I don't know. They're a little older, so I don't know how well they're prepared to fight. They'll probably just leave the country, and that's almost like being in a fight. And now, legally, that this fund that I call the slush fund that Trump had for people that were supposedly abused by the government, but particularly the January 6th. There was one of these January 6th people that once wanted $30 million out of that fund. Okay? So a judge put an injunction on it, which basically caused a lot of problems. And when he did that, Trump came out and said, don't worry, the bill is dead. Well, there was still stuff going on in the Senate and whatnot, still trying to pass that bill or parts of it. And everybody was getting a little upset. So the judge finally says, I don't believe you, Mr. President. You don't have a history of telling the truth. So I'm going to extend my injunction so that you can't get that fund approved at this particular time and place in life. And if that bothers you, I'm kind of happy about that. But, okay, works for me. Now, here's another interesting thing that somebody came up with. People love statistics as based upon what goes on with fantasy baseball. Fantasy baseball is all about statistics, probabilities, and all that shit. It's. I don't get involved with it because it's just too boring. I don't really care what you know so and so does on the ninth inning of on a Thursday afternoon. I really could care less because I'm not watching baseball. I don't watch much baseball down here. It's like I stopped doing it in the United States too. It's like a last resort. World Series, I'll watch a game maybe. Game if I can find it and if I remember it's on. Because I don't pay attention to it anymore. Football, I pay a lot of attention to. Like that's why I knew about Jason Dart and his bullshit. Everywhere he goes now, he gets booed. That's just. This is an example. If nobody likes Donald Trump, I'm not sure if we had an election tomorrow, and Trump won the election, anywhere close to the same margin that he did in the last election, I would scream bloody murder because I know it's fixed. Because there's just no way. There's just not enough people that like him. The problem how he would possibly win is that the people that don't like him won't vote. The odds. They're so fed up with the system that they may not vote, which just gives the Republicans more power, which is stupid. If you're going to fight, you got to fight with everything you got, legal and whatever else you decide to do. All right? Remember I said that because that's what's going to happen. You're going to need to play tough, because if you don't play tough, this schmuck's going to walk right over you. Not just him. It's all the guys in the background, like I said before. God forbid Hexit or Vance becomes president or president and vice president. That would be quite possibly the worst, the worst thing possible for the United States. I really believe it would be. So it'd be worse than Trump because they're not as smart as Trump. And Hexit's I can't tell what Hexit is. He's a fanatic of something. I don't know whether he's a religious fanatic or just just fanatically stupid. I don't know. Here's an interesting fact that came out: the smartphones. Since the smartphones appeared, the fertility rate, and I'm not sure if it's men or women. They just said the fertility rate is dropping, and therefore the birth rate is dropping. And they're blaming it specifically on smartphones. Well, the smartphone is so smart for keeping you from making a mistake and having kids that born into this fucked up generation we have going on right now. So. It's kind of, poetic justice there. I have to go back and check out what are they talking about. Fertility, I guess, means women. Does that pertain strictly to women? What do they call it when men shoot blanks? I thought that was fertility too. I'll have to check that out. Okay, listen up. My regular videos my uploaded videos are back. At least temporarily. Don't expect them every day. I get tired, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, it depends what time I get home. In the mornings, how long Lucy takes me for a walk. That's important. I tell you, I do this stuff live, okay? I don't make anything up. I don't put it into the editor and edit it out and what have you. I've got things to do. That are part of my family. you know, and I'm not sacrificing that. Cause this isn't a job. I don't want a job. I'd like to make some money, but I don't want to. I don't want a thing called a job. If I gotta, if once they say you got to be here at certain times, or we'll take you down or something like that, take it down, baby. I don't want to be here. You know. It's not like an article I read about this girl this morning, and she went. She's 25 years old. She pretty much hasn't done anything. She works for. I don't know whether she worked from home or not. She's pretty much done nothing, and got a job and quit because it was too demanding. It was a secretary in a gym, and it was too routine and too demanding. It wasn't challenging enough. That's the excuse people use that don't want to work. Period. They're just lazy and they're bumming money off of people around them. You know, if I'm some friend or somebody watching out for her because the touch is coming, people. All right, listen, that's it. I've overextended my time probably. But anyhow, hit the subscribe button if you can find it. I don't see. I don't. What I'm looking at is just basically the. Isn't what you're looking at. Okay, so it should show up on the video that left or right, bottom side. Subscribe. Uh, do that, and because now I need to get some people there. See what I can do. It's getting close to election time too, so I'll be busier, talking bullshit. But like I say, I'm live. Enjoy me. And I'll see you on Monday, not tomorrow. Remember, Monday. Bye. Tomorrow's Father's Day. Oh yeah, tomorrow's Father's Day. So before I leave, happy Father's Day to everybody. Okay. You know, most confused. Never. I'm not going to say that. It's an old joke. All right. I'll talk to you. It's not a very nice joke. It's racist. I'll talk to you on Monday. Everybody take care.